Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Eloisa Mozo, and I will be presenting to you our research titled The Use of Semantic Word Map and Word Wizard in Enhancing Students' Filipino Vocabulary, a Proposed Lesson Design. This was our undergrad research way back September 2017 at Bohol Island State University, Calapi campus. Let's start with the rationale. Vocabulary is generally defined as the knowledge of words, and it is one of the five core components of reading instruction. However, children of today have only limited vocabulary, which results into the difficulties in comprehending unfamiliar words. And so the researchers considered this as one of the major problems that should be given much attention in the educational system today, not only in English subject, but in Filipino as well. As Filipinos, teaching and learning Filipino language is very essential since this is our national language. However, many students do not consider Filipino as an interesting subject, and as a result, poor performance in Filipino vocabulary is experienced. So, this study uses the semantic word map and word wizard as games to enhance students' Filipino vocabulary. Semantic word maps are maps or webs of words, and this is a visual organizer that promotes vocabulary development. On the other hand, Word Wizard is a matrix used in making word learning more fun. It provides extrinsic motivation for children to extend their learning words of the learning of the words presented, heard, and seen. So this will help the learners build upon prior knowledge for the reason that some background knowledge will help students be very successful using this strategy alone. So as learners actively involved in different activities, specifically performance-based tasks, they tend to learn more. So they need engagement because it gives them opportunity to explore, experience, interact, discover, learn new information, and understand new words. For the literature background, acquisition is being viewed by Agnieszka Oberman as crucial to language acquisition. So, encoding strategies are mentioned in the literature as vocabulary learning strategies that can enhance the retention intervals of vocabulary. So, in addition, employing images, semantic mapping, or other graphic organizer techniques is encouraged for better encoding, which results in better retrieving later. And also based on Alan Pavio's dual coding theory, memory is consist of two separate but interrelated systems for processing information, the verbal and the visual. The cognitive constructivist work of Brunner in 1966 states that learner constructs their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. Anderson, in the schema theory in 1977, states that memory is composed of a network of schemas. A schema is knowledge structure created by the learner based on his existing knowledge. And the other one is the Gardner's multiple intelligences, specifically the verbal linguistic intelligences are sometimes called word smart is an intelligence which involves the knowing of language through reading, writing, and speaking. So this is the theoretical and conceptual framework used by the researcher to conduct the study on the use of semantic word map and word wizard in enhancing students' Filipino vocabulary. With the help of the theories and legal basis, they will be able to conduct the study. And as a result, it is a proposed lesson design on how to enhance the Filipino vocabulary of the students. For the statement of the problem, generally, the purpose of this study was to assess the effectiveness of semantic word map and word wizard in enhancing students' Filipino vocabulary of the grade 5 pupils in Bonbon Katmunan Elementary School of the school year 2017 and 2018. And specifically, this study aims to answer the following questions. First is, what is the performance of the grade 5 pupils on the use of semantic word map and word wizard in enhancing students' vocabulary in terms of their pre-test and post-test results? Second is there a significant difference in the performance of the pupils using the two strategies, the semantic word map and word wizard, based on their pre-test and post-test scores and between post-test results? And third, what lesson design can be proposed to enhance the students' vocabulary? For the significance of the study, this study focused specifically on enhancing the students' Filipino vocabulary and comprehension skills with the use of the two strategies, the semantic word map and word wizard. For the teachers, this will help or challenge them to become more creative and innovative in teaching. And for the school administrators, this will be a guide for them to provide training for the teachers. For the pupils, it is very helpful for them to achieve a better academic performance in Filipino and also develop appreciation for the subject. And for the future researchers, this will serve as a guide for those who would choose to work in this related study. Here are some of the definition of terms in the study. We have the context clues, performance, and the post-test. We also have pre-test, semantic map, vocabulary skills, word wizard. So for the research design, this study focused on the use of semantic word map and word wizard in enhancing students' Filipino vocabulary, and action research was used in the conduct of the study. So there were two sections of the same grade in the study. The first group was exposed to the semantic word map, and the second group was exposed to the word wizard. So the grade 5 pupils of Bonbon Katmonan Elementary School in their first quarter of the academic year 2017-2018 served as the respondents of this study, and the lessons given to the students were from the K to 12 curriculum guide. And the performance of the students in the pre-test and post-test results were the basis in determining the effectiveness of the use of the two strategies. And the output for this study were the basis for a proposed lesson design in teaching Filipino subject and in enhancing the students' vocabulary. For the environment and respondents, the locale of the study was the Bonbon Katmonan Elementary School in Bonbon, Calapi, Bohol. So the National Achievement Test or the NAT result in Filipino vocabulary during the school year 2014-2015, they ranked 11th out of the 20 schools in Calape, in district of Calape. So this was the basis of choosing Bunbon Katmunan Elementary School as the environment of the study. The respondents were the two sections of the grade 5 pupils, the section Masinop, which is composed of 26 pupils, and section Masinorin, which is also composed of 26 pupils. But there were only 11 pupils in each section that were chosen as respondents of the study. The grade 5 section, Masinop and Masunorin of Bonbon Katmunan Elementary School, were chosen as the research respondents. And through a written letter, the researchers asked permission to the school principal of Bonbon Katmunan Elementary School to conduct the study in their school. First, the researchers administered a pretest to the respondents, and the planned lesson using the two strategies were implemented in both sections with Filipino as the language of communication. And one of the researchers acted as student teacher to discuss the topic throughout the conduct of the study, and it was only 60 minutes time was allotted for each meeting. In semantic word map, same questions were provided to the respondents. They were given written literatures to read. So during the pre-reading of the literatures, the researchers provided a graphic organizer design to be used for the pupils in unlocking the difficult words or unfamiliar words found in the given literature. The same with the word wizard, the respondents were given written literature to read. And after that, they were grouped, and every group picked a word from the bowl. The researchers made a list of synonyms and antonym words related to that word found in the written literature. With the help of their groupmates, they collected synonyms and antonyms of the word they picked. And with the use of synonym and antonym words that they gathered, they constructed their own definition of the word. And they filled up the table and it was presented in the class. When the whole topic was discussed and given within the time duration, post-test was conducted to determine the effectiveness of the semantic word map and the word wizard as a lesson design in pupils' performance. For the statistical treatment, the range in each group was computed using this formula. The range equals highest score minus lowest, and the means and the standard deviation of the group were computed in order to get the average scores of the involved students within the group and the spread of variability of each group respectively. And this was the formula used in computing the mean. The formula for the standard deviation used was this one. And to compare the performance of the pupils in Filipino vocabulary as shown by their scores during the pre-test and post-test of the respondents in each group, t-test was also computed. And this was the formula used to compute it. And the degree of freedom was also used to determine the critical value from the t-distribution table at zero point 0.5 levels of significance. The formula for the degree of freedom for the t-test for dependent samples was this one. And to determine if there was a significant difference between the use of semantic word map and word wizard in enhancing the students' Filipino vocabulary in terms of their post-test result, t-test for independent sample was used. The degree of freedom was also used to determine the critical value from the t-distribution table at zero point 0.5 levels of significance. For the summary and findings, this study aimed to determine the effectiveness of semantic word map and word wizard to enhance the students' Filipino vocabulary of the grade 5 pupils, the section Masinop and Masunurin in Bunbon, Katmonan Elementary School. So the study sought to answer the questions about the performance on the use of the two strategies, the significant difference, and what lesson design can be proposed to enhance students' Filipino vocabulary. And also, this study aimed to test the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference between the use of semantic word map and word wizard in enhancing students' Filipino vocabulary, as shown in their pretest and post-test results. So based on the data gathered, it was found out that there was an increase of the students' performance in terms of their pretest and post-test result. So this result implies that both strategies are helpful in enhancing the students' Filipino vocabulary. In the statistical analysis of data, there was a significant difference between the students' performance in terms of their pretest and post-test result. And it also implies that there was an improvement on the students' performance with the use of the two strategies. However, in comparing the post-test results of both strategies, it was found out that there was no significant difference in the performance of the students between two strategies. And the result shows an increase of performance of both groups in their post-test. For the conclusion, based on the findings and the data gathered in this study, it was found out that there was no significant difference on the use of semantic word map and word wizard in terms of their post-test result, which implies that both strategies are very effective in enhancing students' Filipino vocabulary. And there was no enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis because the computed t-value of 1.20 is lesser than the tabular t-value of 2.086. Therefore, the use of semantic word map and word wizard could be a good alternative strategies to be used in enhancing the students' for the recommendations, the use of semantic word map and word wizard can be introduced as a strategy in enhancing Filipino vocabulary. Since it is in a game format, the pupils will really love this and will have an enjoyable time learning in this kind of activity. Next is teachers may implement the use of these strategies in their class discussions, especially during unlocking of difficult terms in drills and any activities that they want the children to learn vocabulary. And they may also use it not just in Filipino, but in other subject areas. Next one, teachers may also include pictures in using the word wizard strategy since pupils are visual learners and they tend to understand better if there are pictures or visual presentation. For the future researchers, you may use semantic word map and word wizard in conducting another research study, not just in Filipino, but in other subject areas. So here is the sample of semantic word map. These are some of the pictures taken during the conduct of the study using the semantic word map. And here is the word wizard. And here are some of the pictures. Okay. So thank you so much for listening and God bless us all.